know that I did some rearranging in my apartment, and I just woke up. I take a thyroid medication, but I need to wait 2 hours from my thyroid medication to take anything else like my metformin and food. So I wake up earlier, 2 or 3 hours earlier, I go and take that thyroxine, which is for my thyroid, and then I put my alarm's already set for it again, and then I get up and yeah, this is get up. And I try and drink my tea and coffee out of a straw when I can. Obviously this is a stainless steel straw, it's a disposable one, so I don't stain my teeth unnecessarily.
Super rainy today. I'm so excited. Actually, it's just going to be overcast for the rest of the day. It was beautiful and raining last night. I am listening to my body. I'm up early, no headache today. I'm listening to my body when I train, but today I feel like going for a really long walk. I'm going for a 2-hour walk. Where I'm walking though is pretty straight. Like I'm going to get distracted by things, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to do some stretches for you. So I've given up coffee again as of today, but I'm drinking tea because of my headache, which as I said, I'm going to go into that later, but I just got a lovely hot chai, almond extra hot latte. You know, it's a real chai when it's spicy, but not overly sweet. Like it's not the powdered chais, it's made with the real tea leaves. So this one isn't as nice as the other one that I've been getting, but whatever, it's on the way to where I'm walking. This other one that I've been getting is super spicy. And I'll just remind everyone again that usually, yeah, I'm like hip cup person, but because of this virus situation, people are not accepting hip cups, except for that cafe. I'm going to go there another time because they are taking hip cups. Well, I got my guilty pleasures and I just went down to Coles. Don't judge me, but they're these sesame seed snack things. They're like super high in sugar. I don't even want to calculate the math. It's really high in sugar, but I love it.
I'm going to get a can of chickpeas and I'm going to drain the liquid out of here and then give it a little bit of a rinse. The liquid from the chickpeas can also be beaten and used for like an egg white instead, but for all goods and purposes, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to drain it. I often do like to boil my own chickpeas, and if I am boiling my own, it just does take a few hours. I mean, you leave them to soak and then you boil. And I always make sure I recycle these aluminium cans. Add some tahini paste. I specifically like this McIver's brand only because the label comes off super easy. So it's really easy for me to keep this jar. Like the other brands, I kind of have to boil it and scrub up and get off with eucalyptus oil. These jars then I can then take down to the bulk food store and then I can get them to make their own nut butters. I like a little bit of stir because these are pretty natural. The oil does sit on the top. Tahini is made out of sesame seed. I love tahini paste. I just eat this out of the jar like it's peanut butter. For one jar, I put in 2 tablespoons of this tahini. For that size, half a lemon. Because I've drained that juice out, it doesn't have the salt in there and I've rinsed these out. If you were to keep that juice inside those canned ones, I would not be adding salt. To make coconut yogurt, it is super, super easy. All you need is a can of coconut cream. I have seen variations using full cream coconut milk. I've tried to make it out of the light coconut milk. It did not work. I tried to make it out of, I don't know, I've tried a few different ways, but apparently the full fat cream works better. I don't know. I just like find with the light, it's less like, you know, that fatty taste that's on the top of the roof of your mouth. Like you still get that using the cream. If I tried the full fat milk though, it might work. I've tried the low fat milk. Do not do that. It does not work. So I just need like a jar, a can of this. Make sure you put that inside the recycling bin. You're not meant to use metal, by the way, guys, but I have used metal and it's been okay. And then I get 2 probiotic capsules. Some recipes say 1, some say 2, some say 3. And crack the capsules, pop the capsules into the yogurt. Mix. Because this is like liquid and hard cream, need to mix it properly. So you put the cheesecloth or the paper towel, and then you leave that. Look, I've seen recipes where people leave this out. What happened when I left it out, so I left it out for 48 hours, is the cultures, yeah, it worked, but it kind of made it like tangy. Like I feel as though it went off. I feel like when I ate it, it was kind of like it was the bacteria, but I didn't like that tartness of it, to be honest. So you'll see lots of recipes where they say leave this out for 2 days, like 24 to 48 hours, and then it will set it, and then you put it into the fridge for a day. I did that. I did not like it. I put this straight into the fridge like that for 2 days, and then it's like perfect, and I don't get that like that bacteria zing yogurt zing flavor out of it, and I don't like that. I just put it into the fridge like that, leave it for 24 days, and I promised you it turns into yogurt. So yes, I have quit coffee again. If you've been following my channel for like OG, then you will know that I kind of go in cycles with coffee. Either I'm like, yes, I need my coffee every single morning, and now I go to like, oh my gosh, completely off it. Last time I stopped coffee was because I was getting super anxious panic attacks. This time I decided to give it up because I had a really bad headache, and it was because of my teeth grinding, which I mentioned in a video like a few videos ago this week, kind of last week-ish. And yesterday I had a coffee of the afternoon. I went for my walk a little late yesterday, about 2 p.m, and I had my coffee then because I was out and had coffee, and I just went for a little walk. I had some errands to run, and then I was wired. I was like, at the time I had the coffee, I was not wired. It was just like a nice coffee for me. But it hit me later. It hit me like later around dinner time, about, or not even about dinner time, about 4:30 p.m. and later, I was wired. I was wide awake, and coffee never does this to me. Before I got diagnosed with my thyroid, I used to live on caffeine to give me energy, but now I have my thyroid under control. I really need less caffeine to give me the energy and like just the alertness and just to wake me up. Like I used to live on caffeine and coffee, and like it's so unhealthy just to function during the day and night, like just to even function. But now it's like 1, maximum 2 kind of thing. But I was wired. I was like wide awake, and then it got to the point that it was just so frustrating. I didn't get to sleep until midnight, and that is really rare for me. Usually I'm in bed at like 10 p.m. and I wake up early, like early to bed, early to rise. And yeah, I was just like, oh. So definitely like I'm just off caffeine for a little bit. I think I just go through these stages where my body tells me no more, and not caffeine completely because there is caffeine in tea, and I do need a little bit, guys. So I'm having chai lattes and just English breakfast tea or yellow tea. Now, as I said, I am switching over to obviously loose leaf because I'm trying to be more zero waste, but I have what I have, and it's kind of wasteful to not use what I have already, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be disposing of them anyhow, so I might as well just use them. And then next, it's like everything else that I have, you know, I have things in plastic packaging, and obviously I'm going to use that first and dispose of those and recycle those in the best way that I possibly can. And then it's like moving forward, which I'm sure a lot of you else who are going into that as well. So let's get on to the rest of the day. I have just done a little workout, which I didn't film because this one is just for what I eat in a day. But I have made a little post-workout of my own. So I used to buy protein powders a lot, like whey protein isolate. I do eat dairy. I'm vegetarian, but I do eat dairy. But I just find that they just don't sit that right with me. So I am now on a pea protein, and I get an organic pea protein that is unflavored. And then I put stevia, organic stevia in it, just 1 little scoop. So a tablespoon of the pea protein isolate, a little tiny scoop of the stevia, and also some organic, just a teaspoon of the organic cacao powder, because that will sweeten it, because unflavored protein is just like eating cardboard. And I just find it's better to like from my... I'm going to have a banana with it as well. Bananas are quite high in sugar. I had one at breakfast and now one. I will not have any more fruit for today because I also had that juice as well. All of this is in the morning. I will not eat any more fruit. Another reason why I love bananas is in this time, it's so stressful right now. Bananas actually really mood boosting. They do boost your serotonin. Like one banana a day is perfect. So I have been eating a lot of bananas, like at least 1 or 2 a day. I made a hot chocolate, like a cocoa, out of organic cocoa powder and a little scoop of stevia and some, like a teaspoon of skim milk powder. I pressed the camera on when I was like eating all of this. I've already had 2, but I had these like falafel balls that I'd made like a couple of days ago. They've been sitting in the fridge and I need to finish them today. And this hummus is what I've just made for you. I love hummus. I could just like eat it like I do all the time actually. I just live on hummus. So much less crap in it than like other things in the bought ones. You just make your own. I just love dips. Even like soup, sometimes when I feel like snacking, I'll just cut up vegetables or carrots and I'll just make a dip. And out of cream cheese or whatever, like I love to snack, and I love like especially stacking on vegetables with something flavoring like dips in it and stuff. But this is my lunch date. I really should have some vegetables with this, such as some spinach, and some pickled items like pickled turnips and like pickled cucumbers and stuff, but I don't have them. And I was just hungry and I was waiting for my hot chocolate to cool down. So this is it. But this is pretty balanced anyway. It has carbohydrates in it from the chickpeas that are in the falafel. Also, the hummus is made out of chickpeas, so that has carbohydrates. It also has protein in it from the chickpeas, from the falafel, and also from the hummus, and some good fats in there from the tahini, which is sesame seeds. So this particular soup, it's pretty thick. I could add more water to it to make it a bit more runny. I do prefer it to store it in the glass jars. Now the glass jars are things like my tahini paste, which I have like cleaned out. I've taken the labels off and then I keep them. I had a huge jar before, it had some pickles in it, and that would have been ideal for this, but I can't remember what I did with that. I think I couldn't really get out the smell of the pickles, so I put it in the recycling bin. But ideally, like that's why I keep like the jars, is because, well, besides the Nutri Ninja other container that I had spare, which is fine because it's BPA free, I generally like to keep it in glass. Now, if that tofu had not already been frozen, I could put those in the freezer. Also, those jars, like if you're going to work or somewhere, you can take those jars with you and, you know, put it in the fridge, and then obviously you don't reheat it, the glass, in the microwave. I personally don't have a microwave. I've never owned one, besides when I was like obviously living with my family, they had one, but I don't want one. I will reheat on the stove or in a hot pan. I just don't want the radiation from a microwave. And so yeah, that's it. I had some lemon there because I thought maybe I'd add some lemon, but to be all honest, it's got enough flavor in here for me. I'm like all about the oregano right now. Oregano, bay leaves, put the whole tomato in there. I just like kept the skin on all my vegetables because I'm going to blend it anyway, and the skin has a lot of nutrients in there, and when you're cooking you do deplete some of the nutrients in the fruit and vegetables, but I decided just to keep it on because it's fair. This could also be baby food, by the way. And that will have some carbohydrates from the vegetables, like the carrots and the beetroot have carbohydrates in that, as do the tomato. But this is a lower carbohydrate food, so it's ideal for me for the evening because I'm having this obviously for dinner. But I do try to have like less carbs of the evening. Well, I hope you really liked this video. Please remember to give me the thumbs up, the subscribe and the bell notification, and we'll see you next time.